I saw her that Tuesday morning. She was standing outside the grocery store. Two kids were clinging to her jacket. She was not asking anyone for help. She was not holding a sign. She was just standing there, staring at the ground, like she had run out of places to go. People walked past her without a second glance. I almost did too, but then my daughter tugged my hand. She whispered, "Dad, that lady looks sad," and I could not keep walking. This is the story of when I helped her when no one else would, and then she did this. If you enjoy stories about sacrifice, redemption, and the choices that change our lives, make sure you subscribe, because what happened next changed everything. My name is Aaron. I am a single father to two kids, Emma, who is 7, and Lucas, who just turned 5. Their mother left us 3 years ago. No fight, no warning, just a note on the kitchen table that said she could not do it anymore. I spent months trying to understand what it meant. Was it me? The kids? The life we had built together? Eventually, I stopped asking, and I started surviving. I work at a warehouse loading trucks. The pay is not great, but it is steady. I wake up at 5 every morning, get the kids ready for school, drop them off, work a 10-hour shift, pick them up from aftercare, make dinner, help with homework, and fall asleep on the couch while they watch cartoons. That is my life. It is not glamorous, but it is ours. That morning, I had taken the kids with me to grab groceries before school. Emma had a field trip coming up. She needed snacks to share. Lucas wanted cereal with the toy inside. Simple things, normal things. But then I saw her. She was younger than I expected, maybe late 20s. Her face was pale, drawn tight with exhaustion. The two kids with her could not have been older than 3 and 6. The older one was a little girl. She was holding her mother's hand. The younger one was a boy. He sat on the pavement beside a worn duffel bag, sucking his thumb. Emma was still looking at them. "Dad?" I hesitated. I had $40 left until payday, and that was today's way. I had my own kids to worry about, my own bills, my own problems. But I walked over anyway. "Excuse me," I said quietly. "Are you okay?" The woman looked up, startled. Her eyes were red, like she had been crying but had forced herself to stop. "We are fine," she said quickly, too quickly. "You do not look fine." She glanced at her kids, then back at me for a moment. I thought she would tell me to mind my own business. Instead, her voice cracked. "We just need to get to a shelter." I called 3 places. They are all full. "Where are you coming from?" "Nowhere," she swallowed hard. "We left our apartment 2 days ago. My ex showed up drunk, and I could not stay. I thought I had family we could go to, but they said no." I looked at her kids. The little boy's shoes were too small. The girl's jacket had a rip along the sleeve. Emma squeezed my hand. I should have walked away. I should have given her $20, pointed her toward a church, and wished her luck. Instead, I said, "Come with me." Her name was Melody. She did not ask where we were going. She just followed me to my car with her kids, silent and wary, like a stray dog that had been kicked too many times to trust kindness. I drove them to a motel on the edge of town. It was not much. One of those pay-by-the-week places with peeling paint and a flickering neon sign. But it was warm, and it was safe. I paid for 3 nights. The clerk handed me the key without looking up. I passed it to Melody. She stared at it like it was made of gold. "I cannot pay you back," she whispered. "I am not asking you to." "Why are you doing this?" I did not have a good answer. Maybe because I knew what it felt like to have nowhere to go. Maybe because my daughter had asked me to. Maybe because I was tired of walking past people who needed help and pretending I did not see them. "Because someone should," I said. She looked at me for a long moment. Then she started crying. Not loud, just quiet tears rolling down her cheeks. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you so much." I nodded, and I left before I could change my mind. I did not tell anyone what I had done. Not my brother, who would have called me an idiot. Not my coworker, who would have said I was getting scammed. Not even the kids, really. I just told Emma and Lucas that we had helped someone, and that was enough. But over the next few days, I could not stop thinking about Melody and her kids. What were they eating? Were they okay? Did she find help? On Thursday, I went back. I brought groceries, bread, peanut butter, juice boxes, fruit, a box of macaroni and cheese, some chicken nuggets for the kids. She opened the door with the chain still on, peeking through the gap. "It is just me," I said. She let me in. The room was small and dim, but it was clean. Her kids were sitting on the bed watching cartoons on a tiny TV. They barely glanced at me. You did not have to do this, Melody said as I set the bags on the table. I know. That is true. I started unpacking the groceries. But I know what it is like to be alone, and I know what it is like to need help and not get it. I have been trying to find work, she said. I had a job at a diner, but I missed too many shifts because of him. My ex, they fired me. What about family? My parents are dead. My sister, she shook her head. She has got her own problems. She did not want us around. I mean it. You do not even know me. I can ask around in my warehouse, I said. They are always hiring. It is not great, but it is something. She looked at me like I had just offered her the world. You would do that? Yeah. I nodded. I understood that kind of loneliness. She sat down slowly, like her legs could not hold her anymore. For the first time since I had met her, she smiled. It was small and fragile, but it was there. Her little girl looked up from the TV. Mama, is that man going to help us? Melody's eyes filled with tears again. Yes, baby, he is. But I had no idea what helping her would eventually cost me. Over the next 2 weeks, I saw Melody almost every other day. I brought food. I paid for another week at the motel. I got her an application for the warehouse, and she filled it out with shaking hands. I introduced her to my supervisor. He was a tough guy, but fair. He looked at her application, asked her a few questions, and then he said, Can you start Monday? She nearly collapsed with relief. I start Monday, she told me afterwards. Her voice was thick with emotion. I cannot believe it. I thought we were done. You are not done, I said. You are just getting started. She hugged me then, quick and tight, and I felt her tears against my shoulder. I do not know how to thank you, she whispered. But as I drove home that night, I felt something I had not felt in a long time. Pride. Not in myself, but in the fact that I had made a difference, that I had helped someone stand back up when they had fallen. Emma asked me that night why I kept going to see that lady. Because she needs help, I said. You do not have to. Are we going to run out of money? The question hit me harder than it should have. I looked at my daughter, her wide, worried eyes, and I realized she had been carrying that fear for weeks. No, baby, I said, pulling her close. We are okay, I promise. She wrapped her arms around my neck. I am proud of you, Dad. Those words stayed with me. Even later, even when everything fell apart. Melody started her job at the warehouse. I did not see her as much after that, which was good. It meant she was standing on her own. We would pass each other in the break room sometimes. She would smile and wave. I would nod back. It felt good, like I had done something right. But then, 3 weeks after I had first helped her, everything changed. I came home to find my front door unlocked. I pushed it open slowly. My heart was pounding. The house was empty. Emma and Lucas were at my brother's for the night, so I was alone. I walked into the living room, and I stopped. The TV was gone. The laptop I used for bills. The small wooden box on my dresser where I kept cash for emergencies. $200 I had been saving for Emma's field trip and Lucas's new shoes. All of it gone. I stood there in the middle of my living room, staring at the empty space where the TV used to be, and I felt something inside me crack. My hands started shaking. My chest felt tight. I could not breathe. I had been robbed in my own home by someone I trusted. And I knew exactly who it was. If you are still watching, thank you. This part of the story was the hardest for me. What happened next broke me in ways I did not expect. But something was wrong. I called the police. They came, took a report, asked if I had any suspects. I lied and said no. But I knew. One of the officers looked at me. You sure you do not know who did this? I am sure. He did not believe me, but he did not push. After they left, I sat on my couch in the dark, staring at nothing. I had trusted her. I had helped her. I had given her a job. I had paid for her motel. I had brought her food. I had treated her like she mattered. And this was how she repaid me. I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry. I wanted to drive to that motel and demand answers. But I did not. I just sat there, alone, broken. I drove to the motel that night anyway. I do not know why. Maybe I needed to see her face. Maybe I needed her to tell me why. But when I got there, the room was empty. The clock said she had checked out 2 days ago. Did she say where she was going? I asked. He shrugged. Nope, paid up and left. I stood there in the parking lot, staring at the empty room, and I realized she was gone, just like that. No explanation, no apology, no nothing. She had taken everything after everything I had done, after I had trusted her, after I had stretched myself so thin, I did not know how I would make it through the next month. She had taken it all, and I was the fool who let her. The next few days were the hardest. Emma noticed the missing TV right away. Where did it go, Dad? It broke. I lied. We will get a new one eventually. Lucas did not care. He was too young to understand. But Emma looked at me with those knowing eyes, and I could tell she did not believe me. I picked up extra shifts at the warehouse. I borrowed money from my brother, which killed me, because he had warned me about helping strangers. I told you, he said when I asked. I told you this would happen. I know. You have got to stop trying to save everyone, Aaron. You can barely save yourself. He was right, but it did not make me feel any better. I cobbled together enough to cover rent and food, but I had to tell Emma her field trip money was gone. She did not cry. She just nodded and said, "It is okay, Dad." But it was not okay. I felt like an idiot, a fool, a man who had sacrificed his own children's security for someone who did not give a damn. I stopped sleeping. I kept replaying every moment, every conversation, looking for the signs I had missed. Had she been planning it the whole time? Had any of it been real? The tears, the gratitude, the smile. Was I just that easy to manipulate? Was I wrong to help her? Would you have done the same thing? Or was I just a fool? 2 months passed. I buried myself in work. I avoided everyone. I stopped helping people. I stopped caring. Emma asked me once why I seemed so sad. I am just tired, baby, I said. But the truth was, I was broken, and I did not know how to fix it. I was unloading a truck on a Saturday morning when my supervisor called me into the office. "Aaron," he said, "there is someone here to see you." I frowned. "Who?" She did not say, just asked for you. I walked to the front of the warehouse, confused, annoyed, and then I saw her. Melody. She was standing by the fence, holding an envelope. She looked different, cleaner, healthier, like she had been eating regular meals and sleeping through the night. I felt rage bubble up in my chest, hot and sharp. "What are you doing here?" I said coldly. She flinched. "I needed to see you." "You have got some nerve." I know. Her voice was barely a whisper. "I know what I did, and I know you probably hate me." Hate does not even cover it. She nodded, tears streaming down her face. "I do not blame you. I would not forgive me either." "Then why are you here?" She held out the envelope. Her hands were shaking. "Because I needed to give you this." I did not take it. "Please," she said, "just open it." I snatched it from her hand, and I tore it open. Inside was cash, a lot of it, more than she had taken. I stared at it, confused, angry, lost. "What is this?" "It is everything," she said. "Everything I took, plus interest. I sold the TV and the laptop, and I used the money to get us into a place. I got a second job, waitressing at night. I saved every penny I could. It took me 2 months, but I did it." I looked up at her. My hands were shaking now too. "I do not understand." "I know you do not." She wiped her eyes. "And I do not expect you to. But I needed you to know that I am not the person who stole from you. I was desperate. I was drowning, and I convinced myself you would be fine, because you seemed like you had it together." "I did not," I said quietly. "You almost broke me." "I know," she was sobbing now. "I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I have thought about you every single day, about what I did, about how I betrayed the one person who actually cared." She took a shaky breath. "You were the first person in years who treated me like I mattered, and I repaid you by stealing from you. I hate myself for it. But I needed you to know that what you did saved us. It gave me a chance to start over, and I am not going to waste it." I stood there, holding the envelope, feeling everything I had buried for 2 months rise to the surface. "Why did you not just ask?" I said. "I would have helped you. I was already helping you." "Because I did not think I deserved it. I did not think anyone would actually care if I disappeared. I thought you would just move on, Forget about me. And I could live with that guilt, because at least my kids would have a roof over their heads. She looked at me, her eyes red and swollen. But I could not live with it. I could not sleep. I could not look at my kids without thinking about what I took from yours. So I worked every single day to pay you back, to try to make it right. You think money makes it right? I asked. No, her voice broke. No, I do not. But it is all I have, and I needed you to know that I am sorry, that you were not wrong to help me, that kindness is not weakness, even when people like me take advantage of it. She turned to leave. Melody, I called out. She stopped, but she did not turn around. Are you okay now? You and the kids? She nodded, her back still to me. We are okay. We have an apartment. I am working 2 jobs. It is hard, but we are making it. Good. She started walking again. Melody, I said again. This time she turned around. Thank you, I said, for coming back, for making it right. A lot of people would not have done that. She smiled, small and sad. You taught me that someone should. And then she walked away. I stood there, holding the envelope, feeling something I had not felt in months. Not anger, not betrayal, just relief, and maybe, just maybe, a little bit of hope. That night, I sat Emma and Lucas down, and I told them we could go on her field trip after all. Emma's face lit up. Really? Really. She threw her arms around me. Thank you, Dad. Thank you so much. Lucas looked up from his toy cars. Can we get a new TV now? I laughed, actually laughed, for the first time in weeks. Eventually, buddy, eventually. Emma pulled back and looked at me. Dad, are you okay? Yeah, baby, I am okay. You seem happier. I am. Good. She hugged me again. I like it when you are happy. I never saw Melody again after that day. But sometimes, late at night, when the house is quiet and the kids are asleep, I think about her. I think about the risk I took, the pain it caused, the moment I almost gave up on helping anyone ever again. But I also think about the envelope, the apology, the tears in her eyes, the proof that people can change, that mistakes do not define us, that redemption is possible. And I think about what my daughter said that first day in the parking lot. Dad, that lady looks sad. She was right. And maybe, just maybe, I had helped her find her way out of that sadness. Even if the road was messy, even if it hurt, even if I got burned, maybe that was enough. Because in the end, kindness is not about what we get back. It is about what we give, and who we choose to be when no one is watching. I chose to help, and even though it cost me, I would make that same choice again. Because someone should. If this story touched your heart, if Erin's journey reminded you that kindness still matters even when it costs us, then do me a favor. Hit that like button right now. It helps more people find stories like this. And if you believe in second chances, if you believe people can change, if you believe that compassion is never wasted, then subscribe. Because I share stories like this every single week. Stories about real people facing impossible choices. Stories that remind us what it means to be human. Your support is not just a number to me. Every like, every subscribe, every comment you leave, it tells me these stories matter to you. And that keeps me going.